Om. Om yo Brahmanam vidadhati purvam yo vai vedanscha prahinoti tasmai tam hadevamatma buddhi prakasham mumukshurvai sharanamaham prapadye. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsharishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादीनगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततम् पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। Let us read the earlier two stanzas, 56 and 57. Dukkeshvanudvignamanaha Dukkeshvanudvignamanaha Sukheshu vigatasprihaha Sukheshu vigatasprihaha Vitaragabhayakrodhaha Vitaragabhayakrodhaha Sthitadhirmuniruchyate Sthitadhirmuniruchyate Yah sarvatranabhisnehaha Yah sarvatranabhisnehaha Tattat prapya shubhashubham Tattat prapya shubhashubham Nabhinandati nadveshti Nabhinandati nadveshti Tasya prajna pratisthita Tasya prajna pratisthita. Nabhinandati, he does not even congratulate himself, nor does he hate. He does not even rejoice, in the sense, does not congratulate himself. And congratulations, etc., are meant to encourage a person. Now that he's experiencing moments of joy, and the obvious and immediate sources, whether it is the wife or the children or the money, by congratulating, how is he going to encourage it? And what is an encouragement for others over there? At the most, it may cause jealousy in others. if he keeps on praising himself. And therefore, it is a tamasa vritti. Dvesha obviously is a tamasa vritti. Dvesha meaning hatred, repulsion, is a tamasa vritti. Therefore, now the one who does not indulge in anything of these, because for him it is not just wastage of energy, but it is a futile exercise. Thus, he who has now seen the futility of these kind of activities and attitudes, it is very easy for his intelligence to surpass all these obstacles and discover the reality behind all the changing names and forms. Therefore, it is such a person whose knowledge, wisdom is steadfast. Sarvatra anabhisneha, does not get attached anywhere. Attachment is with an expectation that this person, this object, this situation, this project, this activity would deliver me happiness. For him, he has already discovered the original source, infinite source of happiness. And it is from that source of happiness that the money, wealth, popularity, children, wife, husband, friends, relatives may become reflections for this happiness. He is no more infatuated by the reflection because he has discovered that what is the original source of the reflection. And therefore, for him, the reflection of his joy is possible anywhere because it is continuously available as I am. So why would he chase reflections? Why would you keep on looking at pictures of a person when your beloved is right next to you? In absence of your beloved, maybe his photograph can delight you. But why would you keep on looking at a photograph when the person is right next to you now? Similarly, the one for whom now this Atma is known, is seen as the original source, infinite source of joy. For him, why would he look at Anatma Padartha and indulge in chasing them or hating them? And therefore, for him, this is that what seems to be a very interesting activity for the people, ignorant people. For him, it is just a childish indulgence, futile, immature. He may laugh at it. And so, this is a person whose buddhi now can stay submerged, steady in that knowledge. So for a sadhaka, for a seeker, for an aspirant, he can draw certain inferences, because we have seen Bhagavan Bhashyakara saying that the Siddha Lakshanas are the sadhana for the sadhaka. Though that what is seen as the Lakshana of a Siddha, the very natural characteristics, nature of a Siddha, of the one who is accomplished can become sources of inspiration for an aspirant. He will be able to draw principles for his sadhana, for his that will light up his path. And so what are the things that we have seen? Dukkeshu anudvignamanaha, to stay unaffected, to stay calm even during the most tasting times, adversities. Do not glorify the adversity. A. Sukheshu vigatasprihaha. And even if there are pleasant situations, the demand, the internal demand that this pleasantness should continue forever is what should fade away. If it is a happy situation, stay happy in that. But to demand that it should continue itself is the beginning of misery. And so, Sukheshu Vigatasprihaha, Vitaraga Bhayakrodhaha. He is the one who has gone beyond Raga, Bhaya, and Krodha. The secret underlying longing is Rag. Bhaya is the insecurity, to find oneself crippled by insecurity. A person becomes insecure and hence he is not even able to do what he can do. And thus, a person then who is under the grip of insecurity then forgets doing what should be done. There are two things. What should be done is dharma. That what should be done is dharma. That what is ought to be done then becomes the duty. That what is appropriate to be done is dharma. And though something is appropriate and should be done, a person may not do it adequately. So he may do it according to his capacity. But with arrival of this insecurity, fear, he is not even able to do that. So vitaraga bhaya krodhaha. And remember, krodha means anger. Bhagavan Bhashyakara elsewhere in Gita Bhashyam itself has said, we will see that it will come soon, that a person who is overpowered by anger then does not even hesitate to talk insultingly to the teacher. Gurum api akroshati. He talks insolently with the teacher. Remember, this is very important. To stay very respectful towards the teacher. In fact, in Guru Gita, etc., Bhagavan Dattatreya says that one should not even speak in hunkar to the teacher. If the teacher says, have you eaten food, and this person is a little angry, maybe with the teacher or maybe with others, and then he answers, So this is hunkar. Even to answer and talk to teacher like that is a sin. To sit in front of the teacher, spreading the legs towards the teacher, rolling on the ground, is also, it should not be done. This is what Bhagavan Dattatreya advises a seeker. So once when the person knows and he changes his behavior, attitude will change. With change in attitude, now the person will even become more alert and receptive to the instructions of the teacher. When a person is attentive, alert, receptive to common instructions, then when the teacher instructs and imparts the knowledge Tattvamasi, he will hold it with utmost respect, reverence, care, and with a worshipful attitude. If you remember, Bhagavan Patanjali already has said that the practice of samadhi should be done every day with adara satkara sevito dridhabhumi. That bhumi, he will become a firm ground, a strong ground for samadhi to descend. When it is satkara sevita, asevita, when it is done with satkar, with respect. Respect is a very important attitude that we have to develop. Let our language, even talking to any normal people, also be with respect. Generally, people take this as a concession when they are going to say, but then we have love and we have reverence, but it need not be, we don't have to show the respect. Why would you not? Why would you not? When you love something, would you not care about it? Will you not take care to preserve it, to keep it safe? Or just because you love, you would abuse it? Then your definition of love is, let's abuse it because we love it. It's like people who say that we love animals and therefore we eat animals. That is not love. We love chicken. I love chicken, and that's why he kills the chicken. That's not love. It is not love. It is vikriti. It is something that is twisted, something which is wrong. Therefore, vitaraga bhayakrodha. So to draw certain principles for our sadhana, not to be overpowered by raga, bhaya, and krodha. Because this is what is naturally seen in the siddha, in the one who is sthita prajna, jivan mukta. Then for somebody like us, we can draw the simple principles to follow in our life. Furthermore, now Anandagiri says that Jidnyasoreva kartavyantaram suchayati. Now the next shloka, which is 58, over there, Bhagavan Shri Krishna gives kartavyantaram, something more, still more to be done. Something that is ought to be done is kartavyam, karaniyam. that is worthy of doing. Tavya pratyaya is there, na? Worthy of doing. Kartavyantaram suchayati. Bhagavan Shri Krishna now is suggesting something that one should do. And one is over here the seeker. Who is a seeker? Jijñāsu, the one who is desirous of knowing Paramatma. So Jijñāsoreva, and this is not for everyone because people are not going to value it. It is for the seeker. Jijñāsoreva kartavyantaram suchayati. What is that? Indriyanam vishayabhyam vaimukhyasya prajñāsthairyaarthe karanatvat ādav jijñāsuna tad anushteyam. The turning away of the senses from their objects of indulgence, turning away from indulgence, which means there is certain discipline. Oh, but then why should we do it? Hey, those people who want to maintain their weight also do it very easily. You are talking about why should we do it? Do you ever question them? Why should we maintain our weight? When they want it, this is the price that one has to pay. Without a discipline, without certain vishaya vaimukhyam, nothing becomes available. This is tapasya. Indriyanam vishayabhyam vaimukhyasya. Now that vaimukhya, vimukata, turning away from the vishayas, etc., is the karanam, is the cause for prajñāsthairya, is the cause for stability of the prajna. Okay, now this is what we are going to discover. The spark will be born as a result of your practice of meditation. Shravana manana nididhyasanam. The prajna will be born, but that spark needs to be preserved. One becomes careless about it, the spark is going to be covered under the ash. And therefore, in order for it to become a conflagration, for it to become a flame, a bright burning flame, one will have to take care of that spark. Prajñāsthairyaarthe karanatvat ādav jijñāsuna tad anushteyam. The jijñāsu, the one who is desirous of knowing Paramatma, what should he do? He should follow Vishaya Vaimukhyam. He should follow Vishaya Vaimukhyam, turning away from the sense objects. This is the kartavyam. And this kartavyam is suggested by Bhagavan Shri Krishna in the 58th verse. Shankarananji says that there are three causes. There are these three causes for the steadiness of the knowledge. For the knowledge to become steady. First of all, it is extreme dispassion. Paramavairagyam. Extreme dispassion. The second one is intense desire for liberation. And the third one is absolute dedication towards one's goal, which means liberation. There can be intense desire, but sometimes, in spite of having an intense desire, a person may not have adequate dedication. Therefore, he says these are the three causes. You can note them down. First of all, it is intense vairagyam. Then it is, which means he calls as extreme dispassion. Extreme dispassion, then intense desire for liberation, and the third one is total dedication, absolute dedication. Though these are the three causes, yet none of them will be possible if one does not have control over the senses. If one does not have control over the senses. Therefore, remember, in whatever way, how much to talk, what to hear. It is just not eating and other things. But we are endowed with 10 indriyas. And all the 10 indriyas have their own function, and also their own objects. For the karmendriyas, their respective karma is the vishaya. For the sense organs, the sense objects are their vishayas, objects. Turning away from them is very important. So all the three will not be possible, which are the direct causes of prajnastairyam, if the control over these indriyas is not there. And therefore, Bhagavan Shri Krishna suggests Vishaya Vaimukhyam. Now get it? So, Anandagiri has said this is how Shri Krishna Bhagavan says, and Shankaranandji explains it with more detail. Because none of these three will be possible if the control over the senses is not there. And therefore, Shri Krishna is, now Bhagavan Shri Krishna is giving us this idea, a very important suggestion. And from how have you got it? Because it is something that is seen naturally in the Jivan Mukta, in the Sthita Prajna. Then for the sadhaka, this is a line of his sadhana. This is how he should enhance, fortify, strengthen his own sadhana. Okay? His spiritual practice. How does Bhagavan Shri Krishna say this? Look at it. And kindly repeat the verse. Yada samharate chayam. Yada samharate chayam. Urmunganiva sarvashaha. Who is Dirgha or Hasva? Urmunganiva sarvashaha. Urmunganiva sarvashaha. Indriyani-indriyarthebhyaha. Indriyani-indriyarthebhyaha. Tasya prajna pratisthita. Tasya prajna pratisthita. when like a turtle. Okay, yada is talking when. Kurmaha iva, kurmaha angani iva, just as like the turtle which withdraws its limbs. A turtle is able to withdraw the hair, head, tail, and the legs inside its shell. So, turtle that withdraws its limbs, a person is able to withdraw the senses completely from their objects, then know his knowledge is steady. His knowledge is steady. So, when a person is able to withdraw from the world, then know his knowledge is steady. How do you know a person is fast asleep? Because he has withdrawn from the world. So, just as the sleep is fast, meaning firm, deep, only when he has withdrawn from the world, like that, the knowledge is steady when he is able to withdraw from the world. And that withdrawal means withdrawal of the senses to draw them back in oneself. The anvaya of the shloka, etc. First, look at the vigraha. Yada samharate cha ayam kurmaha angani iva sarvashaha indriyani indriyarthebhyah tasya prajna pratisthita. This is the vigraha. Okay. The anvaya is yada ayam कूर्मोऽङ्गानि इव सर्वशः संहरते तथा indriya tatha is do the adhyahar, put it in bracket. Indriyani indriyarthebhyah samharate tada tasya prajna pratisthita bhavati. Is the prajna is pratisthita, sthira iti. Okay. Bhagavan Bhashyakara explains, he says, yada samharate, yada, when he is able to withdraw, samharate. And that samharate, he says, is samharate, samyak prakarena upasamharate, is able to withdraw properly. Because that sam is there, right? Before as a prefix to harate. Samharate, samyak upasamharate. That upasamhara is explained by Anandagiri. He says upasamhara means swavashatva apadanam. What is upasamhara? What do you mean by that upasamhara or withdrawal? Swavashatva apadanam means have mastery over the senses. When a person is able to master the senses, senses is upalakshanam for even karmendriyas. Okay, when a person is able to, so you want to punch somebody in the face, and then you bring your hand down, you still don't do it. That is upasamharanam. Because now though you wanted to punch his face, you still are shaking his hand and saying good morning. So upasamharanam. Upasamharanam means not that like actually like kurma. It simply means swavashatva apadanam, bringing them under your own control, mastering them. Tasya samyakatvam But what is the samyakatva over there? What is doing it properly? What is a proper mastery over the senses, etc.? He says, samyakatvam atidridhatvam. It is atidridhatvam. Dridha means firmness, but atidridhatvam, like a tree which stands, a lot of time we watch these sides of the mountain collapsing, sliding down. But sometimes even when those big boulders are coming down, there is a tree which holds on with its roots and stops the sliding mountains too. It is firmness, dridhatvam. This is called as dridhatvam. And so we have watched this, a lot of times, the landslides which take place in the Himalayas very often. But those trees are able to prevent it from happening. So that is dridhatvam. Similarly, samyakatvam means over here atidridhatvam. And what is samharanam? Samharanam means swavashatva apadanam. So that is samharanam. But there is samyak, that is haranam. What is samharanam? Atidridhatvam. No matter what, the person is able to still stay with mastery over the senses, etc. Okay. Madhusudana Saraswati gives an introduction to this shloka, and he says, Arjuna has asked a question. In that, there were 4 questions, in which one question is, Kim asita? How does he sit? Kim asita vrajeta kim? If you remember the questions. Kim asita? How does he sit? Now, that sitting does not mean does he sit in chair or does he sit on the ground, does he sit in Padmasana or Siddhasana. That sitting means how is his life founded? What is the foundation? That sitting is being answered over here. He sits in the sense withdrawing from the sense objects. And therefore, this is an answer to that question. Idanim kim asita iti prashnasya uttaram vaktum arabhate Bhagavan. So this is how Bhagavan answers that question of kim asita. Further, now, yada samharate chayam. Uparatir nama. Now, there was a very interesting portion which we had seen when we studied Laghu Vasudeva Mananam. Over there, the word uparati, withdrawal, was told to us. And the author over there defined it at 3 levels. He said, Uparatir nama sanyasaha nishkama karma anushtanam vyavahara lopova. He said, the meaning, the word upasamhara or uparati carries these 3 meanings, and they are applicable And all of these are perfect at different stages of sadhana. Nishkam karmanushtanam, to do the karma, to do one's own duty without associating the any idea of desire fulfillment, but by associating the karma with the idea that it is the worship of Paramatma. This Nishkama Karmanushtanam is also Upasamhara. It is also Uparati. Then he says, actually taking to the life of sannyas is also Uparati. Because sannyasa means the person now does not indulge in any karma. Karma sannyasa is sannyasa. Karma. And when a person is now giving himself to the samadhi abhyasa, to the practice of samadhi, vyavahara lopaha. Is he going to talk to people in samadhi? These people have got the, talking in trance. So we are not talking about any trance and all these things. Trance, etc., is not samadhi. Talking in trance. Nonsense. No talking in other. Vyavahara lopova. That is vyavahara lopa. Absence of any transaction. So now that person, the mind, the senses, everything is immersed in the light of the self. That is vyavahara lopa. And therefore it is what? Uparati. That these are the three meanings of the word Uparati, which we can employ over here even for Upasamhara, which is also withdrawal. Okay. Indriyasya upasamharasya pralayarupatvam vyavartya sankochaatmakatvam darshayati. Anandagiri says that, look here, it is even in the state of deep sleep, the person is able to withdraw. Then, what you're talking about withdrawal must be his deep sleep. And therefore, to distinguish that it is not deep sleep, but it is upasamhara. It is upasamhara. Now, the example allows us to have this distinction. It means sankochatmakatvam. It is what? Phalna or sikudna. Can you give me an English word to it? Sikudna. What? Can somebody give an English word to it?
From the shrink. Shrinking.
Shrink is one. Another? To contract. Yeah, let's see. To contract. To contract. Not to expand, to go into this world. So now, this meaning pralayatmaka, pralaya rupatvam vyavartya. Pralaya over here means the deep sleep. So indriyasya upasamharasya pralaya rupatvam vyavartya. Because even in the deep sleep, the senses are withdrawn. So do you mean to say, is it a state of deep sleep? No, it is not deep sleep. Sleep is tamasa vritti. Whereas when we are talking about samadhi, etc., how is it? It is an extreme form of sattva guna. And therefore we are not. So one may misunderstand. A lot of people also think that, I was in deep sleep, and the person goes to sleep. Deep meditation. I was deep meditation. Now that his deep meditation is deep sleep, he does not know. So that is tamasa vritti, and this is sattva vritti, and so sattvika vritti. So, in order to distinguish it, uh, the example allows us to understand this. And it is sankochatmakatvam darshayati. Bhagavan shows it is sankochatmakam. It is contracting and just not pralaya. Its dissolution is not there. Okay? It is sankocha but not dissolution. Indriyanam vishayebhyo vaimukhya prajnasthirya hetuhu iti. Then finally, what do we understand from this shloka? That indriyanam vishayebhyo vaimukhya. Now turning away of the senses from their objects. Now senses means, just don't think of the 5 organs of sensory perception. All the 10, even the karmendriyas too, over here. So indriyanam vishayebhyo vaimukhya, turning away of these organs, indriyas, turning away of these organs from their objects is the cause for prajna sthiryam, is the cause for steadiness of the knowledge. Okay. Now the word upasamharate, once again, Ramaraya Kavi says, pratinivartayati indriyanam vishaya pravinyam varayati. Means what? It means the expert indulgence of the organs in their objects is negated, rejected. Okay, so varayati. So now finally we understand that this is a very important aspect of our spiritual life. What is it? The mastery over the organs. Whether it is the organ of speech or the hands, legs, karmendriyas, or even the sense organs. Where should these organs go to feed themselves? How much is also very important, because without which those 3 factors which were mentioned by Shankaranandji for the prajnasthairyam will not take place. And this indriyani indriyarthebhya samharanam is seen in whom? In the Jivan Mukta, in such a master. And therefore we understand that it is a cause for prajna sthiryam. And so we we bring that thing, such an auspicious thing in our life. We will read the next shloka and see its meaning tomorrow. Let us read the shloka. Its introduction also we will see, as well as its meaning delivered to us by our teachers, we will see tomorrow. Vishaya vinivartante, Vishaya vinivartante, Niraharasya dehinaha, Niraharasya dehinaha, Rasavarjam rasopyasya, Rasavarjam rasopyasya, Param drishtva nivartate, Param drishtva nivartate. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavatyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha.